taking 5 minutes of your day in silence, just pondering, just taking that rest despite our really busy world. It's really a good way to think about what you want.
Welcome to this edition of Uplift, and today I am so happy to have with us an international math champion. You believe it? Not just a national math champion, but an international math champion. And what's amazing about her? She's only 16.
Yes.
Right, so I bring with you today Fideliz Dechavez of Sorsogon. Thank you for being on our show today, Liz.
Thank you, then, Paul.
You know, and I was speaking with her earlier, and I'm very impressed with this woman because for so many different ways, but she's going to tell you why she is so amazing. So, Liz, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you, then, Paul. Thank you, then, for for reaching out, and I'm very happy to have an opportunity like this to speak out my thoughts and my journey as a whole human being.
Yeah, as to become an international math champion, you have to beat out so many, right? It must have been a journey to go from being a math champion at school, then you have to be a math champion of the city, then you have to be a math champion on the national level before you could even compete to be in the international scene and to become a champion there as well, right?
Yes, well, it's quite hard since I've been doing it since first grade, from my school to division level to city to national.
Yeah.
So it has been quite a journey, and I'm quite proud of where I'm right now.
Yeah.
But as all humans have, as they still have aspirations, so I still want to continue on competing in the name of my school and in the name of the country. So I'm very proud to represent our country in an international stage in my field where I can show my talent, and it has always been a dream of mine, especially my late grandfather. He passed away when I was 3, and then one of his dreams for me, he told my parents that they should send me to a public school, specifically Sorsogon Pilot Elementary School, which is my alma mater, so that I could go to competitions. And I believe what he said dati po is, ipadala niyo si Fideliz dyan sa pilot at baka kung saan-saan siya makarating dahil sa competition. Or basically he said, I need to go to that school so I can go to different places of the country and represent Sorsogon City. And when I won that competition, I immediately thought of Lolo Mi, my grandfather, because TBH, he was the reason why I still continued to join this contest, even though during the time of registration, it was low-key against my will to join. So yeah, I'm very proud that I've come this way, starting from the dreams of my late grandfather to now representing the Philippines in international levels.
I think that's so amazing. You know, earlier today I had a gold medal winner in Taekwondo. She's roughly about your age, right? And so to have an international math champion and scholar, I think is a double bonus for me today. And I can't imagine what you have to go through in order to become an international math scholar. You have to pretty much study all the time.
Oh yeah,
Right.
there was hundreds of sleepless nights just to study for contests and then school. Yeah, it's quite hard, but I still push through.
Okay, I'm going to toss out a real hard math equation. Let's see if you can figure this out. What's the square root of 4?
That's 2.
Oh my God. She is amazing. She figured that out in like 3 seconds. I mean,
That was quite a basic question.
Oh yeah, okay. And so was mathematics something you were always, one of your strong suits? I mean, I know for me when I was going to school, I'm not right brain, right? So math was a struggle for me. I really struggled. Creativity, art was very simple for me, right? How about you? Was math just came natural for you?
Well, I guess we're the opposite.
Yeah.
Math, science, and English, they all just really came natural to me.
Yeah.
And in elementary, there was a time I didn't really take notes during math classes because I already knew the lesson. So yeah, I aced my exams and
All of them. Yeah, you must have aced all of them.
I don't want to say this, but ever since first grade up until sixth grade, I ranked first in my batch. So I guess being good in math, science, and English just comes with it.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in the future? Do you see yourself being a scientist, an engineer, mathematician? When you work for NASA, I mean, what do you see yourself doing with this ability to solve equations?
I don't really see myself in any of those professions because at times I do think doing such hard math equations over and over and over again, it can be quite tiring. So I really despise doing those careers in the future. But in the future, I do want to see myself owning my own company since I am more passionate to be a leader or a type like that than to just be, not just because those careers are also hard, but than to be engineers or scientists because I really enjoy doing work with people, collaborating with people, and then seeing a final output come out after months or days of hard work.
Right. So you see yourself having your own business one day.
Yes.
So she's going to be like Henry C., right?
That's maybe a bit too far.
CEO of one of Philippines' future largest companies. So something to look forward to. At least for me, when I'm well into my old age, I could give you a call and say, "Hello, do you remember me? I podcast you. Can I have something?" I mean, you could sell me something, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's so amazing that your natural ability to solve complex questions and equations and to do math and technology and all that, but yet you want to go into the soft side of business, which is the soft side meaning humans, right? You want to focus on people, and being a leader, and you actually said that you talked about being a leader rather than just being a manager, which is two very different fields, right? Because a manager is just a boss, whereas a leader, he inspires people to act, right?
Yeah.
So why is that? Why do you want to pursue a job or a career in business rather than a career in education and mathematics? I mean, is that something that you've always wanted to do or you've done?
Well, yeah, it's always been something I wanted to do, and I think it's also something I've always done, but not given the best opportunity to execute all of what I can do. However, in this past school year, it really made me realize more that I really love doing leadership and then leading people on doing things, especially since I was elected as the president of both my class and the whole club of the students of my curriculum, which is STE. I'll first elaborate on my class. I was part of grade 10 Wisdom this past school year, and then through numerous activities and challenges that were given to us for school events and then just our specialized subjects in general, I really felt that I took part in leading the class as a whole, because especially during class activities where the requirement was for the whole class, I used to lead those stuff, and then I was always quite happy that the outcomes come out well. And however, I'm more than happy with how we managed to do the thing we needed to do, especially during times where there was conflict. Always somehow got to not rudely but step into the conflict, and then everything went on its way properly. So yeah, another thing I would like to elaborate on was me being a president of the STE club.
Which is science, technology, and engineering.
Yeah, that's the curriculum.
Okay.
We had annually we have the STE week. However, this was the first STE week after the pandemic. And then it was 5 days, and then I was president. So obviously, I took lead. It was quite hard. It took a month of preparation from us, and then during that month, we also had our finals, so our final exams. It was quite hard. I had a lot of fights with my parents also to let me attend the meetings that I needed to attend. And in the end, it was a very nice event. The outcome was great. And then after those experiences, like after I graduated, I completed junior high school today. It really made me come to realize that, oh, I really do enjoy leading people and then collaborating with them and just bring out the best in everybody so we can bring out the best outcome.
I am, how could I say this? I want to say I'm shocked because I have been meeting some really amazing young leaders. But I am just very surprised and happy to hear you're more than just a smart young woman, right? But you're also very wise in your age, at 16 years old. It seems like you have gone through a lot already in life. It has taught you some very valuable lessons, right?
Yeah.
And at 16 years old, I think that's just amazing. I really do, because so many 16-year-olds that I know are nowhere even near the level of accomplishments you have taken on, right?
Well, yeah.
And you said that you've had a lot of fights with your parents. Are your parents also academics? Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, my parents, my mother is a nurse and my father is a dentist. And my sister, she's a pre-med student. So I would say that all of us are quite smart and nerds. My dad is a nerd in physics. My mom is just smart, basically everything. My sister is very good at chemistry, and I'm there. So I'm slightly always pressured because my whole family is good, and I take pride in that my family is good. And however, there are some times that we do have conflicts, but in the end, we do resolve them. It all just takes considering each and everyone's situation. So yeah, because in the end, I always just think they're just thinking what's best for me. So,
of course, yeah.
and then at most of the times, they're right, because they were the ones who forced me, not really forced, but encouraged me to join this international contest, and which in the end I won. So yeah, if it weren't for my parents telling me over and over again to just join the contest and just take the risk, it wouldn't happen. So
There's one thing I have learned, and I have interviewed, and the majority of my podcast interviewees are well into their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even beyond. That success is not based on an age. You can be successful at any age. As long as you're following your God-given talents, your abilities, as long as you're following your happiness, it's really what makes us successful, because it has nothing to do with money. It's about the personal fulfillment that you have, were able to acquire in your life because you did something you feel that was very important, right? And that's what really success is. So it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. You've achieved so much success at an early age of 16 years old. I think that is such an amazing accomplishment, And so, fast forward 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, what do you see yourself doing?
I see myself working in corporate, hopefully still single, because I want to spend my money traveling. So hopefully I see myself in corporate, probably working, probably also helping my sister go through med school, because she's still probably still in med school by then.
20, 30 years from now, she's still in med school.
Oh, not 20. I'm not 10, 5 years.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah, but in terms of like 20 years, oh my gosh, I'd be like 36.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, that's a math, okay. Like 30 years plus 16 is...
I'd be 40.
Okay.
36. Oh, during that time, I want to be married already.
Okay.
That's a long time from now.
Yeah.
But I want to be married and have my own house.
Okay.
All the girly girls just dream of having their own bougie houses.
Sure.
And then travel a lot. That's really where I want. But also one of my goals, ever since I did, I have this notes in my phone. Actually, goals when I grow up or when I have money. So one of the goals, I want my parents to retire already, obviously. So when my parents retire, one of my goals, first for my dad, I want to buy him a plot of land, because my dad, though he is a dentist, he is also very into agriculture. He just plants a lot of stuff. All fruit bearing stuff. So I think my dad would enjoy a plot of land for him to do his stuff on. And then my mom, I would want to buy her luxury bags and jewelries, because my mom, she grew up in the coastal areas, and then she really worked hard for us to have this life. And then one of her hobbies and interests are bags and jewelry. So in the future, I want to be her sponsor and not her be the sponsor anymore.
Jewelries and bags. Well, at least she doesn't have the shoe aficionado
Yeah,
right.
That's my dad's problem. So,
your dad is into shoes.
Yeah, my dad is all into shoes. So I just want to be their sponsor this time, because whenever I go out, I always call my parents, oh, I have my sponsors with me, I don't have to think of anything. So
they take care of it all for you.
Yeah, so in the future, I want to be their sponsors.
And that's why you have such perfect teeth. Your dad's a dentist.
Yes, my dad's a dentist.
And what a bonus.
Finally, one of the things, I have two charity organizations that I go to donate. One is the local home for the aged here in Sorsogon, because my late aunt, she passed away in 2018. She was literally one of the most supportive people for me. So yeah, and then yearly she always held during Christmas season. She always held donations there, and then food, and then a whole day just an event to have fun. So I really aspire to donate regularly there once I have the money. And then secondly, I want to donate. I still haven't found the perfect organization for it, but I want to donate for an organization that advocates for food safety and education. Because I grew up in a family where food is really a big thing. Because my Lola, my grandmother, she's a teacher. She used to cook. She used to teach culinary, and then our family here in Sorsogon is one of the big caterers of food. So ever growing up, ever since, I really had this connection with food. So yeah, and I want to have a world where kids can also experience the food safety that I had growing up. And then secondly, education, because I really wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for the quality education that I received growing up and right now as a kid, and even my parents and my sisters. If they didn't receive the education, then our family wouldn't be here. Yeah.
So you have had a lot of support growing up.
Yes.
Not a lot of kids have, even adults don't have that level of support that you have. Would you consider that probably one of the top reasons why you're going to succeed in life?
Yes, for sure.
So what do you tell people who don't have that support?
Oh, that's quite a hard question. But
What could they rely on when they can't or don't have anybody to rely on?
if you don't have anybody to rely on, then I guess you can rely on yourself. Uh, Rely on yourself in a way that you should take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, or like if you're not healthy emotionally, physically, and mentally, then and you have no one to rely on, then that's literally ground zero for you.
Yeah.
So if you take care of yourself and even though you have nobody to rely on, then you can rely on yourself. You can be happy being alone, because being alone isn't really a negative thing. Some people enjoy it, and if you're healthy physically, mentally, and you love yourself, you can rely on yourself. If you have problems, then let yourself be free, even just for a moment. Like take a walk in the pier, or just take a walk outside. And yeah, if you really don't have anyone, then you can just meditate or something like that. And yeah, just rely on yourself and take good care of yourself.
I have a cat.
Oh.
Sometimes he becomes my companion. But in the future, you said that you want to be a CEO.
Oh, yes.
Right. I think that is so amazing, because instead of focusing on like a core strength you have, such as mathematics and science and technology, you want to be a leader of people. What kind of business do you see yourself getting involved in?
I'm actually seeing myself getting involved in the food business. So just like my grandmother and my family's business, I really want to put up my own food business, specifically in the pastry world. So during the pandemic, I picked up on this hobby. I baked a lot, and then during that time, I was really fascinated on how bread works and then how cake works. It's for me, it's still science, because food science.
Sure.
And yeah, I got very interested in that field. And then whenever I baked for my family and my friends, they always became happy. So I was like, oh, before that, I was still puzzled. Oh, I want to be a CEO, but what type of company?
Sure.
But I finally came into realization that I want to be in the food business. So yeah, because even though you're in business and you're making profit in the food business, you're still making people happy.
Yeah.
Because as the saying goes, what does that say? What's that? Anything you can make a person happy through their stomach. So yeah.
You could be a future Graceland.
Oh.
Or I'm sorry, a future Mary Grace, the restaurant
Yeah, I love
chain. Yeah, I mean it's really nice inside. It's one of my favorite restaurants here in the Philippines, and because I don't see you just having one business or one restaurant. Maybe you see yourself having and operating a chain of them. You see yourself as the CEO of a major food retailer.
Oh, probably that's a long way in the future, but I would like to just focus on the pastry side.
Yeah.
But having a chain like, for example, Mary Grace, they also serve other types of food like
Sure.
pasta. So
Sure.
yeah, that would be a nice thing to add once I expand my business in the future.
What are some of the things that you say to yourself on a daily basis to get you moving?
Oh, one of the things to get me moving.
Yeah.
I actually don't say it. I just play a song. When I'm really in a slump and I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I play this song called Fighting. It's a very poppy song. It's by Busok Soon. It's a subunit of a group I stan called 17. So Busok Soon, they have this song called Fighting. So it basically says, fighting, don't give up, don't give it up now. And then the whole song, it's like a story on a person's day from morning up until evening. So when you wake up feeling like a zombie, just go ahead, put your earphones on and fight your day, your way through the day. So yeah.
I really, really love that. Because there are many times when I wake up, and yes, I have a lot of things I gotta do, and I hit that snooze button at least about a dozen times. Right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not a dozen times. But yeah, it's to have that level of motivation that you have, right? Especially at a young age, is very admirable. You know, and I'm hoping that there's a lot of students out there. And you don't even have to be a student; you could be anybody. In your 20s and your 30s, because we're all still students. We'll never stop learning until we're dead, right? Until we're finally buried and stop breathing. That's when we really stop learning, because they say if you're not learning, you're not growing, and if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And that's always been very important for me. So I make sure every day I learn something new, and I really see that in the future, if you're able to carry what you have already accomplished and learned at 16, right, and you apply that when you're in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, there is nothing stopping you, right? Do you really feel that there's something stopping you now?
So societal pressure, but personally, not really. As long as I continue to push through with my passion and just doing what I love with the support I already have. So.
What advice would you give to someone who is struggling, you know, for their own identity, struggling to succeed in life? What would you say to that person?
I would say takes some time to really know yourself first. Though there are some people, like not all of us has the privilege to take some time off and just get to know yourself. However, just taking 5 minutes of your day in silence, just pondering, just taking that rest despite our really busy world, it's really a good way to uh, think about what you want. So, and also, you can also, when you're struggling of what direction you want to take in life, uh, picking up some hobbies would also be good. Even if it's just taking photos on your phone. For me, baking, just reading a book, taking a stroll, or listening to some music. Through those little things, you can find out you can find out the things that really interest you. For example, I really like baking, and that correlates to my liking to science. And then, if you like music, then you might also like to make the music or sing. Or if you just like music and is not a great singer, then you might like the meaning of the songs that you listen to. So through all those little things we encounter in a day-to-day basis, we can really find out on what we truly want to be and what purpose we have while we're on this earth. So
You just make me smile. 16 years old and you're already so full of wisdom. You really are. And I want to thank you for being on this podcast. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are just listening to this young woman and just highly impressed about what it is she's doing with her life. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who's going to be Googling you in the future thinking, oh, what has she done? Right? If she could win the international math competition, nothing is going to stop her. And I don't believe anything is out there that's going to stop you either. So I want to thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you.
And I hope you have found this of real pleasure and joy as well as inspiration. So thank you for being for tuning in, and we look forward to having you on the show the next time.